Hi, today I'm going to explain you what an API is all about. API stands for Application Peripheral Interface. The intent of making this video is to make even a layman understand what this most commonly spoken terminology API is all about. Now to get started, let's consider a realistic example. Consider a restaurant here. Now, a set of people here look into the menu and place an order. Now, it is the responsibility of the butler in the kitchen to prepare the items for which there is an order. Now, surely do you see a disconnect between the order which is placed here and the butler who is supposed to prepare them? So, here comes the role of a waiter, which is very crucial in taking the order, which is the request, and handing it over to the butler. The butler here would prepare the items which are placed for, and the waiter, in turn, takes the response and hands over the response to the people who have ordered it in the form of the food which is prepared. So, the waiter here is nothing but an API. So, he is the interface between the party which has placed the request and the person who has sent a response. Now, let us connect this to a client-server architecture and how an API plays a role there. Now, consider a scenario where a person wants to do his journey using the AirAsia flight. In this case, he would log into the AirAsia website and enter all the details. Now, when the end user clicks on search, there is a request which is sent over an API. This request would in turn hit the server DB configuration and send back a response which gives him the list of AirAsia flights available during different timings for this particular departure and return date. Now, this is a very simplistic scenario where we have hit the client application, the server, and the DB of a single company. So, this is a one-to-one mapping where there is no ambiguity. Now consider another scenario where a person wants to do his booking via a third-party application. Say a person logs in to Make My Trip cause he wants to know or he wants to be made available with different flights that are available for him on the day of his travel or return. Reason being, the results which are returned as a list of different flights available for that particular return or departure date would be easier for him and it would be more handy for him in choosing which flight would give him the best price. So, have you ever thought how these third party agencies give you all details about these different flights? You may think that they go and hit a DB which has information about all these airplanes. That is right. But they interact with this DB which has collective information about all these different flights such as UAE, Singaporean Airlines, Malaysian Airlines, or any airlines you can think of which is present in this particular server DB. So there is a particular API which hits this DB and presents this third-party application that these are the different flights available to carry out your journey. So without this API, it wouldn't have been possible for these third-party applications to get the results as desired. So the API in simple terms can be considered as an interface which takes the request from the client, sends it to the server, where there is some process done and the API sends back the response to the client. I hope it is clear now what an API is. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe my channel.